I've just stolen the keys to my wife's Land Cruiser and I'm going to transform it with over 300 horsepower. Oh yeah. And then give the keys back to her and surprise her.
Oh my God, I love it. You jealous?
Tiny bit. Now, a lot of the long-term subscribers to our channel will remember this old beast here. This is my stock standard Grandpa Spec 80 series. It's a 1HD FT, so the multi-valve version of the old 1HDT like old Sooty over there. It's Grandpa Spec. I've done absolutely nothing to it except drive it around. Now, the reason you haven't seen it so much on our YouTube channel is because my wife has actually claimed it for her own. She loves it so much, she's been driving it all the time and I really can't get the keys off her. She's got one little issue with this vehicle though, in that it lacks a little bit of power. Now, that's where I come in. You see, I've actually stolen the keys off her. She doesn't know I'm about to do this, but I'm going to take it down to my mate Jordan at Only LandCruisers. You see, he specialises in everything Land Cruiser, but in particular, he specialises in 1HD, FT and FTE motors. Now, they're renowned for being able to get a little bit of power out of them, and that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm actually going to steal her car off her, take it down to Only LandCruisers, and see what our options are to really give this thing a little bit more pep in its step. Morning, mate.
Mate, there you go.
Yeah, good.
Hey?
Yeah, not much, mate. Have a look at her, eh? As you can see, mate.
Pretty original, isn't it?
Very original. I think every four-wheel driver likes the idea of having more power in their four-wheel drive. If we can get some decent power out of it, I think it'll drive so much nicer. What are you thinking so far?
I'm thinking aftermarket airbox and intercooler setup. Then we'll go 300 pump and injectors and let's say like a UF5 21L, something like that to keep it going, yeah.
Roughly, what sort of power could we be looking at?
Roughly about 300.
300 horsepower.
300, about 800 newton meters sort of thing. So.
Well, I'm very excited to drop it off here and I can't wait to drive an FT with about 300 horsepower. That just sounds like an absolute dream, mate.
They're a good thing and you'll never not have a smile driving it. So if you're interested, everything we've just talked about here, I've actually got on my own car that I drive as a daily at the moment, so we can go have a look at that if you want.
Yeah, sounds like a plan. Righto, we are good. Already yours sounds like it should do.
Yeah, it definitely does. Doesn't put a gear. And man, you get a bit excited and
right. There you go. Yeah. That's insane. Well, I think an upgrade like this is exactly what my 80 series needs to stop feeling so sluggish. I'm going to leave it with the boys so they can work their magic. I'd love to stay and work on it with them, but I've got an important plane to catch. That's right, I had to go and catch up with the Dirty 30 in the US. To do all the engine mods in question, Jordan and the boys have decided to take the whole engine and transmission out of the vehicle. Now, this may seem excessive, but considering that the front radiator support bolts out in an 80 series, and the fellas can take an engine out in a couple of hours, it's a pretty smart move. But of course, that means stripping the front down first. Jordan's called in a helping hand from his brother and good mate of mine, Jackson. You might remember him from helping me out on Sooty as well as other builds. He's got a photographic memory when it comes to Land Cruisers and absolutely loves spinning spanners on an old rig just like this. Together, they're going to have this engine out in no time.
Making really good progress. We've only been at it for about an hour and a half or so. Bull bar off, bonnet's off, everything's disconnected, a couple of little things to do underneath, and just start ripping this front off now.
Front end's all off. We'll just undo this loom, just let it sit down the bottom. And then now, instead of us having to lift this whole engine and gearbox all up that high, we just come straight out through this little gap at the front now, make our lives way easier and way safer. Drag the crane over here, strapped it up to the engine. Got the lads underneath, they're just undoing the gearbox cross member. Got the trolley jack under there to support the weight. Now once we take the weight of the engine, we can lower it down a bit, get all the low range shifter and stuff out. Saves us having to pull all the floor up and doing it all through the cab. Engine's free, engine mounts are out. Just got to be careful don't knock this oil level sensor off on the engine mount, that always happens. We've got it rigged up pretty good, pretty confident with the angle that we've got. We're going to come out quite nice, just to have enough height with the crane. And now it's time to start pulling her out.
All right, you guide that, I'll pull the crane back, eh?
Yeah, just pull forward slowly.
Yep.
Just gotta go up more.
Yep.
Ready? Yep, we're good. All right, downwards going. Motor and box is out. We're going to take this over the back of the shed, take the auto off the back of the engine. We're going to strip the transfer case off so we can do the part-time kit and stuff like that. The auto is going to go to the shop to get built. Then we're going to put the motor on the stand and do the turbo and injectors and the head studs and all the other good stuff we're going to do to it.
Oh well, down at the workshop this morning, it's time to strip this motor down. This is the motor out of the Silver 80 of Shauno's, getting ready for its build. It was meant to just be a turbo and injector swap, but while the motor's out, we may as well just give it a once over. Then it probably doesn't have to come out for another 500,000 Ks. So, moment of truth, about to pull this rock cover off Shauno's motor. Let's see what's living underneath. Cam looks all right. Yeah, she looks really nice. All the injectors are out. Probably get this head off soon, and then wait for some bits to turn up so we can put it back together.
While we wait for some of the parts to turn up for the engine, there's been a quick change of plans. Now I've got to say, these boys, and myself included, we don't do things by halves. The paintwork on this 80 is typical of many four-wheel drives this vintage. The clear coat is gone and the paint has started to fade. If there was ever a time to paint the old girl, the time is now while half the front end has been stripped down. This is really going to make this vehicle a very special 80 series.
All right, down at the Only LandCruisers workshop again this morning. Got Brody here from Crumb and Auto Body Repairs. We're going to strip Shauno's 80 and get it ready for paint this week. It's going down in 2 days to get a full closed door respray. By the end of today, there's not going to be much more in this 80. There's no motor, no box. Now there's going to be no interior and no panels on the outside. When it comes to painting a car, all the work's really in the prep work. So the further we strip this back, the better the end result's going to be. So we're actually going to take off the flares, indicators. We'll take the aerial out. We're going to take the mirrors off, repaint those. We're actually going to take all these strips off. We're going to colour code the door handles as well. So we're going to strip the whole doors, just basically strip it back to its bare bone. This thing is so tidy. I'm jealous. I wish it was mine. We're even getting the boss on the tools now. How good's this?
So ultimately what we're doing is taking out all the accessories of the car, so the handles, your rubbers, your windows, all the windows, everything will be out of the car so we can paint it properly. What we'll do from there is we'll rub all this flaky paint back, we'll prime the whole vehicle, we'll then rub that primer back, and then we'll start our painting process. But to do that and to ensure there's no overspray on any rubbers, we need to take all this stuff out first.
The first and only dodgy thing on this car. It's like a house mark he's had to go, and must have been an inverter or something in here somewhere.
As you can see, there's pretty much nothing left of it. Just come down to us in a couple of days and we'll start the sanding process. From there, we'll prime it, then we'll check over, make sure it's all straight, all good to go, give her a lick of paint and get it nice and shiny for Shauno when he comes back.
And I heard bright pink. We're going bright pink, is that the colour?
Surprise, surprise.
Wow, look at it. These boys don't stuff around, do they? Hasn't even been here for a week.
And would you have a look at that? With a fresh coat of paint, it's really made this 80 feel like a brand new vehicle again. As you can see, we've gone with the same factory colour. This is going to be the easiest way to get the best finish possible. Plus, it'll keep it looking original, on the outside anyway. And to be honest, I'm a huge fan of this factory Toyota colour. Let us know in the comments if you agree. After finishing my adventure in the US and catching a flight home, I've come straight down to the workshop to see what the boys have been up to. Well, here's a bit of an update down at Only LandCruisers at the moment, and this beast behind me, believe it or not, is my FT80. Now have a look at it. It's so clean. That's because it's been resprayed. It looks an absolute dream, this thing. It's amazing. And the other thing you'll notice, of course, no motor in it. And that is because the boys are sorting some stuff out right now. Now, when we said we're going to do a couple of basic power upgrades, I didn't think for 1 second we'd be going this far. What's the go? What's the go, Jacko? Why are we going this far, mate?
Well, we didn't mean to, but it just got out of hand like it always does with us.
Yeah.
But we're glad we actually pulled it apart, because have a look at this, wherever those bearings are. Here they are. We weren't planning on pulling it apart, but have a look at the state of those things. So once we saw that, we thought we'd pull the whole thing apart, just give it a good check over. Thankfully, everything else is really good. It was only one set of bearings like that, so.
Have a look at this.
And those 10.
Brand new studs going in.
I don't know if you can see, but like the bores in this thing are perfect. Something that's done 400,000 Ks.
Yeah. Have a look
All
at
the
that.
cross hatching's all there. It's spot on. She's ready for lots of boost and lots of fuel.
That's what we like to hear. I had no idea the boys were going to go this level on the build, but that's what they do around here. These boys don't cut corners, and especially when you're dealing with a high horsepower diesel, you want to make sure things are done right, because the last thing you want to do, like if we didn't pick up those bearings, for instance, I reckon that the crank would have picked them up and they would have gone kaput, and big knock on the old diesel, which is not what you want.
Some good there, mate. Look out. Timing. Who's that bloke?
Ooh, ooh.
Do you know this bloke?
I'm off the extra fast now, boys. Check it out, engine's coming together. Have a go at that. The fuel pump, ADS, look at that. At the heart of a diesel power-up is the diesel pump and injectors. Now you may remember when we powered Sooty Mark II up, we went with a built pump from ADS Injection in Mareeba. For this build, it was a no-brainer to go with Mick and the team at ADS Injection again. These ADS pumps are fully modified and calibrated on the bench to suit all boost levels the vehicle will see. The injectors are also 40 plus injectors to suit the pump, and combined with the turbo I'm running, I can expect between 250 and 300 horsepower.
It's going to go heaps faster now, all this new stuff.
Sure will.
Better street cred anyway.
All right, so this is the turbo we're using. It's a UFI 21L. The whole idea of the bigger turbo, we're running bigger injectors and bigger pumps, so we need more air there to make everything burn nicely. So yeah, the bigger turbo, you run higher boost levels as well, so you get more air in there more efficiently as well. So that's what we're chasing.
Here we go, making him work on his own car.
Parts that make all the fun happen.
There we go. Look at that. Well, what a day today. I mean, the boys have put a big one in, and have a look at what this engine looks like now. It's actually, well, looks like a brand new one because it nearly is. Turbo, we've got the pump on, and very soon we'll button this thing completely up and send it into there. We're not long for actually turning this thing on, eh? And having a go.
Mate, if we had the gearbox, we're driving it tomorrow.
I'm very excited. Okay, won't be long now, and the big FT will be breathing life. Well, I've just got the call from Chris that the auto is ready to be picked up, so let's go check it out. Chris, how are you, mate?
Good, Sean, yourself?
Good. This
That's
must be the auto for the 80.
It is, yeah. All finished, right to go.
Yeah, I wouldn't even recognise it, mate. It looks so nice. It's obviously been rebuilt. What sort of work have you done to this thing?
Well, everything.
Yeah, everything.
So, yeah, it's standard rebuild. Like when on a standard rebuild, you always, kit frictions, bushes, seals, Teflons. This got a new pump in it. The pumps always wear on them.
Yeah, it's got all the good gear. That's what I want to hear as well, because this motor that we're putting together, it's coming together really nice actually at the moment. It's going to be quite a sprightly little diesel for an 80 series.
Yeah.
So you reckon this 4-speed will be able to handle the power?
Yeah, definitely. Probably one of the best machine boxes on the market.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
well,
from factory, they're brilliant.
Well,
yeah.
That's good news, mate. I've even heard, you were actually telling me a story, some of your mates actually run these autos in comp trucks with a bunch of power behind them.
Yeah. Fellas, Russell down at Wyong Automatics.
Yeah.
The time they've spent on R&D on the valve bodies and bits and pieces on these, they've got a full manual valve body for them.
Wow.
So the work they're doing down there is second to none.
Yeah, so if they can handle that sort of abuse, they'll definitely handle the old Grandpa Spec 80. This is going behind.
Yeah,
so,
probably not the way you drive. Or
yeah, exactly right.
Exactly
right. My wife will be doing a fair bit of driving in this vehicle, but chances are I'll be pinching the keys, mate, because with an auto combination with a nice, healthy diesel that's going to be making, over 200 horsepower at the tyres, I reckon it's going to be one of the best 80s you can drive, mate.
Oh, it will.
And speaking of torque converters, you do a lot more than just rebuilding autos. I mean, you guys do the whole kit and caboodle, don't you?
That's right, yeah. So we've got a new company started up, which is Southeast Queensland Torque Converters. Reason why we're doing it is to help the trade out.
Yep.
I mean, every transmission shop in Australia is hurting with torque converters.
I know the weight for torque converters is phenomenal, right?
It is, yeah, it is. And we've had to bite the bullet and spend the money to, one, get the right equipment, two, the right people. To be able to get the converters when we need them for both shops, and also, most importantly, everyone else in the trade.
Well,
we're setting up for the trade so we can help the trade customers out and get everyone back on track and start moving the transmission trade forward.
Well, I think that's music to a lot of people's ears, mate, because people want to come in and get built autos from you guys. And if they know that you're the one-stop shop, there's not going to be huge delays waiting for torque converters like used to be the case.
Yeah, that's right.
I think that's fantastic news, mate.
Yeah.
Chris, I just want to say a massive thank you, mate. This is really cool to have this box all rebuilt, ready for the 80 series.
Yep.
It's going to be the perfect match, I reckon.
No, it should be good. Should have some fun with it.
Yeah, cool. All right, I'll take this off your hands, get it down to Only LandCruiser, and hopefully we can get this beast driving very soon. Just a quick nighttime run in the workshop here at Only LandCruisers. We're just doing a few little bits and pieces, so tomorrow we can put that in. The cool news is that as soon as the engine goes in, we should be able to literally drive the vehicle, which is pretty cool. Jacko, looking for some tools. We're about to pull this apart and put a part-time kit in the transfer case.
Here you go, mate.
So, it's just finally all back together. We've got the new gearbox all bolted up to the motor. Transfer case is all bolted back up now with the part-time kit. Everything's all fitted, wiring harness, trans-cooler pipes, the whole lot. We put the new heater hoses on the firewall already, so now we're going to put this in there and get it bolted in. So usually you do this for like 3 people, but I like punishment. Righto, so engine and box is in, it's all mounted up, all the engine mounts done up, gearbox mounts done up. Now we're just plumbing it all back up. So we've got new hoses to go back on for all the power steering. Just put all new heater hoses on, we've got new radiator hoses, new fuel hoses, new everything. So should be good to go.
Well, it's starting to take shape now. Engine, of course, is in. All the piping starting to go in for this big front mount intercooler. Now this PDI one sits right at the front here. It's going to get maximum airflow. It's also the biggest we can possibly fit in here, and it's nice and black as well, so it's going to be sort of a little bit undercover. This whole 80 is going to look like a bit of a grandpa spec 80, but we know it's hiding under the hood. It's going to be 300 horsepower roughly of diesel fury. Now we're starting to basically do the cosmetic bits on the vehicle now. What are you doing, Geordie? You're putting the airbox together?
We're just fitting this PDI airbox, or attempting to anyway. Just got to move some of the old alarm system out of it. Finish doing these cooler pipes, do the intake pipe to the turbo. We've literally got to put oil in it and we can pretty well start it.
That's exciting. Very exciting. It's starting to look like an 80 series now. I reckon Sabrina, aka my lovely missus, she's not going to know that we've actually done any work other than the fact that it's really shiny and nice. And she's going to get in, take it for a little drive, and trust me when I say this, it's going to pin a hair back. So we're actually going to do the same thing. We're going to put the bonnet on right now, go for a little drive. Obviously the vehicle's registered, we're good to go on the road. We're just going to take it for a little quick squirt.
What do you reckon, bud?
Very, very excited. Let's turn it on. Oh, the headlights work.
Headlights, how good.
Righto, time, take it for a test drive.
It's been a long time coming.
It has been, and so far, you wouldn't know anything is different.
Sounds like a normal FT, just with 500,000 Ks on it.
With 500,000 Ks on it. All right, let's have a go, eh? Oh yeah, she's different to drive. Oh yeah. Yep, she's different to drive, mate. Oh, gee. I think I just heard a tyre squeal.
I did hear a tyre chirp.
Oh, wow. It's a different beast to drive. Well, I've got to say, I am so impressed it's not funny. It looks like the same old FT80, but trust me when I say this, it isn't. It goes like the clappers. This is one of the fastest diesels I've been in, and the boost's actually turned down at the moment until we run this motor in. So for now, that's enough tonight. I can't wait to give it a zab. She's going to freak out. Well, have a go at this. I've finally got the big FT80 back at my house, and I've got to say, I'm absolutely amazed of how this project has turned out. Now, of course, we didn't mean to respray it and all the rest of it. We've gone over and above of what we should have probably done, but I'm so stoked with the results. Have a look at it. I mean, it's been completely resprayed. All the engine work, the transmission, it's just an absolute transformed vehicle. Now, there's one last thing left to do, and that is to reveal this to my wife, Sabrina. Let's see if she can recognise that it's had a little bit of a tune. Well, Savvy D.
Wow.
What do you reckon? She's
That looks like your brand new car.
It nearly is, mate. It nearly is. How shiny is it?
Yeah, it's so shiny.
You know what?
What did you do?
We didn't just polish it, we actually resprayed the whole vehicle. Fully resprayed, and we've done a little bit of a tune. You know how you said it was a little bit slow?
Yeah.
Didn't perform that well, and you just wanted to get a little bit more go out of it. I won't tell you the details of what we've done. I think it's best that you jump in and take it for a little drive, because it does drive a lot different. Keys are in it, off you go, jump in.
Sounds good.
Driver side. Goodness, wish me luck. All right. Oh, it sounds good, doesn't it? Give it a go. Give it a go. Put your foot down.
Oh my God, it's not struggling at all.
No, it just keeps pulling.
It's
it just
so
keeps
good.
pulling.
My first real full drive.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous one. I'm actually
You jealous?
tiny bit. See it drive, just gets up and goes and just pulls.
It's really impressive compared to where I was before.
There you go. You've had a little bit of a drive now. What do you think?
I love it.
It's a different
This is
vehicle.
like a new car.
It really is. It really
so
is.
impressive, so smooth. Love it.
Got to say, she's absolutely over the moon. What do you reckon, Sav D? Come over here.
I love it!
How good.
It's like a brand new car. It's
Look.
never been that smooth when you drive it too.
And it's got a bit of poke now as well. Well, I love seeing the smile on your face. That is really, really cool. It makes all that hard work worthwhile. So I'm glad you loved it. This is officially your 80 series. It's not mine anymore that you use all the time. This is your 80 series.
Really?
Yours, 100% yours. It's an absolute beast. And I've got to say, I am a little bit, no, you know what, I'm a lot jealous. This is one of the nicest 80s. This is a traditional, like a proper multi-valve, 4.2 diesel. It's about as good as it gets, in my opinion. You just got to treat it better than I treat Sooty, okay?
Yeah, of course.
It won't be hard.
Easy.
It won't be hard at all. But look, next time you guys see this vehicle, of course, we're going to do some maintenance on it. It needs some much needed maintenance. I'm talking about, we're going to start from the brakes all the way right through the drivetrain. And then I've got a couple of other little goodies that are going to bolt onto this to make it look the next level. Now, you told me you didn't want this to go crazy. You didn't want it too high and all the rest of it. I'll do my best. But next time you see it, folks, it's going to be a whole nother 80 series. Hope you enjoyed the build episode so far, and I'll see you around.